Today's the last day, final day. Had to pack, time to go. I had enough of Canada. And I want to thank everybody who welcomed me with open arms. I had fun, but the fun lasted. It's time to go. Till next time. It's too cold out here. There's still snow on the grass, on the ground, everywhere. There's snow everywhere. Snow to go, snow to keep, snow to play with, snow to do whatever. All right, till next time. Now I gotta go back to the warm weather. Let's go back to the tropical. Peace. Père Blanc. So, which means wife fathers. And I did my Google research, and through the Google research, what I was able to find that this place has a way long ago, way throwback history of missionary work in Africa. Now, with the time that I took of doing Google research, some of the stuff that I had read, it blew my mind what this place was. You know? So literally I would say it's the advertisement of Christianity in Africa. That's what wife fathers and this place that I was able to discover. Well, I didn't discover it. I got lost on my way back home. And then I just kept walking since I was told that the house is by the library. So as soon as I saw the library, I said, you know what, let me just go straight towards the library. And then once I reach the library, then I'll figure out my surrounding and find my way home. Because the library was a key point of, where the house was. And then, as I kept walking, and I see this place is called Père Blanc, and it has African, I guess logo. Their logo is Père Blanc within Africa. And if you go back to the video, you look at it, you'll see that the Père Blanc, the design of the Père Blanc, the name Père Blanc is written inside of Africa. So that means they indoctrinate people into turning them into religious people, and through religion, and they're able to steal at a much faster rate because it's all manipulation. They know what they're doing has a mental trickery behind it. The reason why, and then as I started reading more about them, their history of how they actually accomplished their missions. So they go there, they learn the language. Once they learn the language and they start speaking as the native. So you'll notice a lot of missionary people, they like to get the phenotype of the natives. And once they get the phenotype of the native, that connection literally puts you at the position of being able to put somebody under your spells. So what is language? Language is a combination of spells being exchanged with other people. If you understand the language of a place, you have access to those people. How? Let's look at it like this. When we travel, as we traveling, the traveling of going to a place where you don't speak the language, the moment people notices that you don't speak that language, they know that they have a power over having to manipulate you if you're not bright. Because anywhere where you go in the world, this is wherever you go into this planet. Whether it has to deal with rich people, it has to deal with poor people. The moment you don't speak the language of trickery or of whatever it is that they're trying to get behind you, you will fall a victim of it. It would take you some time to maybe understand the lingo a little bit, like some of the terminology, which is kind of like the spells behind a certain language. And once you get to understand the spells or the frequency of a word, of a way of communicating, then you start getting out of that spells. So that's why when we learn a lot, we get ourselves out of the spells of things that we did not know, because sin really is ignorance. So when they say like, oh, so and so died for our sins, it really means this person put their life through so we could become, they died for our ignorance, so we could continue to be ignorant. And as we looking at that ignorance and we're crying about the ignorance, when we could just change our lives, but nah, instead we stay in a state of not knowing anything.
Prior to boarding Air Canada Express Flight 8004 to Montreal Trudeau, we would like to inform you that we will be boarding this flight by zone number. Your zone number is indicated on your boarding pass. If a zone is not printed on your boarding pass, we invite you to board with Zone 4. Please have your government-issued picture identification ready for presentation. Thank you for choosing Air Canada Express.
So you start worshiping things that doesn't benefit you. It's like you believing in something, but that thing doesn't put anything back into supporting what it is that your belief is. So you look at the word like pastors. What does a pastor mean? A pastor means a leader of the sheep. So you are controlling the animals that wants to be followed. Now, the translation of religion and everything, which comes in, it, ends up being, you have to not know the language. When you know the language, that spell can no longer work with you. With religion, is kind of like the same way. You get people that really, they don't understand that language, so they need a translator. It's the same thing as a lawyer. A lawyer knows the language of the court, but a lawyer would not teach you the language of the court. So you find yourself stuck every time you get a problem. You find yourself stuck in trying to figure out exactly how do I get out of this situation. And you pay them money. The money that you pay them, they will guide you in court. But as you are in court, by the time you get out of court, you're not, all that money that you paid them, they are not going to help you understand the law. So that's what this whole Père Blanc, white father, and the dancing of the theology comes in. So theology, which really is you are manipulating people. That's what you have to learn, theology, so you can manipulate them better at the rate where they are so emotional to the point where they feel like everything that you're telling them is clicking. Yeah, because it's clicking, because if you do research on Père Blanc or white father, in English is white father, in French is Père Blanc, you would understand some of the techniques that they have been using in a lot of those African villages. They go there, they learn, like I said, they learn the language, and they have to also learn the phonetic of the language, because through the phonetic, that's what you make the sound as the same sound as the natives, it makes you much more, closer to those people. So when you are closer to those people, you have to play poor. These people are getting paid a lot of money to be there, to act like missionaries, to act like all this here extra stuff. They get paid a lot of money. But when they show up to the place where they were supposed to indoctrinate their manipulation onto people, they have to act poor. So when they act poor, you thinking they also poor. So they telling you, whatever you have, even if you're dying, just give us the money. But even if they're dying, they're not going to give their money up. They want to keep their money. But they're telling you, even if you're dying, even if you got this and this here first, you got to give God money. Since when does God, a movement that nobody has never seen, but needs money. But for some reason, people continue to give money so they could get blessing. The blessing, and then as we dig deep into the word, the meaning of the word, the spelling of the words, then you get to being less. Being less. When they tell you, may God bless you. May you continue to be less. And the more you are continuing to be less, you are buying into, well, I used to say, bless you, just as a wording that you have heard other people, express, towards people that they wish good things to. But then when you start realizing what these words means, life is a court. If we don't understand the language, we will always be behind a skim or a scam, or some type of, manipulation. But as you put yourself into the position of wanting to learn the language and really understand the language, the Bible, I go back into the Bible and all these religious books. The reason why it's not written in a simple term is because if it was written in a simple term, in a term that people practice, in a language that people practice, exchange every day, a lot of people will walk out of it. But if you take the words, then you hide the words behind the meaning, then every year you got dictionaries, and those dictionaries, they are hiding the spells of that word. They're telling people what a word is instead of what a word is. That what the word is instead of what the word is actually practicing. So the more we learn, the more we open our mind, and the more we have jurisdiction over spells that's being cast onto us. There's no such country as, even including America, if you do not know the law, you do not have rights. You could run your mouth about having rights, but if you don't know the law, nobody thinks you have a right to claim whatever it is that you're claiming. You have to know the law in order to have rights. If you don't know the law, things will continue to happen to you. You look at the prison system. The prison system, most of the people in there, they all thought they had rights. People that have been lied to, they're in prison, but they don't know the law. So since they don't know the law, they believe to have known the law, or to have been thought that they have rights. But if you do not know the law, there is no way, no place on the planet you have rights. Anyway, make sure you research Père Blanc. That's in French, why father in English. So make sure you research that, and then you'll see what this place is. And the level of the manipulation is, especially among us black people, we put ourselves in a position where people could manipulate you easily because you want to like people so bad. Yeah, it's great that we can like people, but certain people you just got to keep them. Once you notice that they're full of manipulative tactic, you got to keep them at the distance. You could be good with them, but you have to know your way around them, because otherwise you'll become a victim, and this victimhood of things that you was not even planning on to. The same thing could goes towards, people of different races who are nice towards other people, of black skin. If you there are people who are nice to people regardless of race. And the only way I can end this is like this. It sucks being nice to somebody who thinks you being nice to them making you look like an idiot. And then tomorrow they need help again. You don't have to help them again. If you help somebody, they don't reciprocate the action, you have to leave them alone. Don't just keep doing it, hoping that one day they'll get it, that you're trying to help them. Leave them alone. Let them continue doing what it is that they feel like their mission is on life, because all of us is not going to get the same result of things in life. Regardless of how we decide to put it, it's just life has so many different spirits that comes and so many spirits that goes. The main thing is we have to stay knowledgeable of things that we didn't know. If there was something that was put into your system as a belief, try to find out what the word belief means. Not what everybody is telling you. I'm telling you, figure out what it means. Once you find out what a belief means and you are okay with learning things that could change you as a person, then all I can say is welcome to life. Because this thing here, after I read about the white fathers and stuff like that, it blew my mind. And I can already see those movies and those people that act like they're nice people, but really they are there on the mission. And the mission is to make sure those people stay poor and they don't grow. Okay. So you're traveling with the BBC. I'm aboard the Black Bike Chief.
And please note that U.S. Transportation Security Administration regulations prohibit all passengers from assembling in any area of the cabin, including the lavatory and galley areas. We have just shut our main cabin doors, so we do ask that you please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all your carry-on items stowed. Bien noté que la réglementation de la transportation de sécurité de l'administration des États-Unis interdit à tous les passagers de se rassembler dans toute zone de la cabine, y compris près des toilettes et des offices. And your safety is our top priority today. Please take a moment to watch the following safety demonstrations outlining the procedures of this aircraft. At this time, all headsets connected to a portable electronic device must be removed. Votre sécurité est notre priorité. Veuillez prendre le temps de regarder la démonstration suivante sur les mesures de sécurité propres à cet appareil. Et maintenant, retirer tous les écouteurs, brancher un appareil électronique.
Do me a favor. After you watch this video, these people be driving stupid, man. After you watch this video, search white fathers. If you speak French, search for Père Blanc. From there, you'll discover what I discovered. All right. I'm aboard. And tell your people that you're traveling with the BBC. Let's go.